Hello everybody, Strangers103 here. I haven't been around with these replay analysis videos recently, but here I am back, and well, I've basically pre-recorded an entire week's worth of content, but anyways, before we get on to the actual replay in itself, I wanted to say, well, I mean, I've already decided what I'll do for the upcoming week, and it's just going to get released Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, but I do have enough now, well, after this not really, but I had enough to do an entire week worth of carrier replays, but I figured, well, that would kind of be a bit boring, although very easy for me to do. I do have quite a few carrier replays lying around, so that's, you know, not really a major problem on its own. But anyways, I'm going to mix it up a little bit, keep some different content in here. But just getting started, today we have a replay with Philomele87, she's in a gearing. This is a patch 0.5.11 build number 195227, a couple of patches ago, but the game really in its own hasn't changed too much, except you're not going to be seeing any of the live test ships here, and it doesn't really matter because the probability you see them is quite low anyways, and blah blah blah, but it's not from too far ago, so the difference wouldn't be too major. Anyways, we are on Warrior's Path, domination game, tier 10, obviously. However, well, we spawn in. We say our team has 3,000, theirs has 2. They do, however, get a Moskva and Donskoy. We only get, well, we get nothing. We don't actually get radar. We do potentially get one rune with Hydro and a Bismarck with Hydro, but they get a Friedrich Rossa as well. So, in terms of visibility, their team certainly has an advantage over us. Tier 10 destroyers, Gearing and Shimmer, one for each team. We get a Fletcher and a Fubuki, they get a Kagero and a Benson, so gun firepower-wise and torpedo firepower-wise, to be completely honest, neither of the teams are, destroyer-wise, too majorly off each other. Anyways, we're kicking this game off by heading towards B. We have 5.9 concealment, so we have a fully concealment upgraded Gearing. Let's see if we can't check our anti-aircraft. We don't really have... No, we don't have an AA spec. What's our main gun reload? We do have AFT and the anti-aircraft range upgrade, however. And, well, it doesn't tell you reload here, but as you can see, with our torpedo reload of range of 16.5 kilometers, we do have the... we do not have torpedo acceleration, which is something I like running on my Gearing, because you don't really need 16.5 kilometer torpedo range, in my opinion. Anyways, we're entering the Bravo cap now. We do have defensive AA, full premium consumables, and pretty small package of flags. Not even detonation. Personally, detonation's up to you, but in my opinion, speed flags are a must-have on a Gearing, because the thing is pretty slow on its own. I mean, it's not like Fubuki 30, you know, some of these 35 knot destroyers slow that can get caught by a cruiser without your speed boost on. But anyways, we're pushing quite aggressively on B on this side of it. Currently, we're not locked, and there's no way we would be locked, because, well, we would have been spotted, because our concealment now covers the entirety of the B circle. We have 2 other destroyers here, so pushing into the capture point itself was, well, it's somewhat aggressive in the event that some of the cruisers decide to show up. But none of the enemy destroyers showed up. We now know where the Moskva is, and we did see a North Carolina in the distance, but the fact that we had another tier 10 Shimmer with health upgrade, so, in a fight, he wouldn't be too bad off, and the Fletcher right next to us pretty much meant that we would have had a solid amount of firepower in the middle, even though none of our team is really here to support. But however, getting B without the enemy really contesting it, despite the fact that our team is making a decently, I guess you could say, flanking split, so there's nothing really in the middle other than our current 3 destroyers, with the last remaining Fubuki currently now alone on A. But he at least has the support of a good chunk of our team's firepower. Let's see. Ithamo, Bismarck, in terms of battleships here, which means that it's the North Carolina on the other side. Probably has 2 of the Senjos there with him as well, considering we have a rune and our one of the Senjos here. Which is certainly not too bad to have in terms of firepower. Oh, one single Senjo will smash a destroyer if it gets a decent salvo off. Anyways, we've seen 2 of their destroyers over there, one of the Bensons. Personally, I would have, once it's on the map, I would have had a look at it just to know what we're up to see if we can find the Gearing. But we take account at the torpedoes, and, well, we basically know where the most of the stuff is already. you can see basically 6 of the ships, you know, 6, 7 of the ships currently heading towards C. 2 of them aren't there yet. They're still somewhat south of B. And we know that there's, well, currently Dimitri Donskoy, and we know one of, well, it's only this radar that's there, because we know the Moskva was heading towards C. Although we do see the Friedrich Grosse, but at the start of this game we really haven't done much. We just captured the flag and secured it. And as we see, nothing's really come along to contest it. Unfortunately, our Runats pushed very aggressively into C for no real apparent reason, despite knowing that a large amount of their team's going in there. Well, we've lost them. And they also have 2 battleships down there, so that's definitely an equal match. We find the enemy gearing. Fubuki is, well, I guess you can say being slaughtered by him. Fletcher's open fire, so we probably should open fire as well. And there it goes. They have a Kagero here as well. However, the gearing's pushing in like this. He needs to be focused down. The Fubuki just went down. The gearing's engine's been damaged and is currently deploying smoke, shooting back at us. We're gonna maybe take one of those shells, take them there. We're gonna be able to eat most of this, unfortunately, I think, unless he makes it poor aim, which somewhat does. But the gearing's not really in a position to shoot at us anymore. It's just the Kagero, and trust me, Kagero Alpha's hurt. We do seem to have last stand. We're not breaking too much, so we're getting around this corner. No real need to put a damage control party, although using one certainly would not have been the worst thing to do here if we slow down and waited a bit on the island. But now that we know basically where the gearing is and the Kagero shot us down quite some of our health, it's not really worth trying to trade in this area because they do have cruisers in the back. Sure, we do have some as well, however ours are kind of running away, so they're not really going to be able to provide the best firepower. 12 seconds until our engine comes back, and this is why I did not want to go, personally would not have gone around the corner like this. However, we do manage to score 2 torpedo hits on the enemy gearing, taking the ship down, which basically means theater and destroy gone, and dodge most of the counter skill in return. Well, we actually dodge all of it, of course. But yeah, personally I would have sat behind the island or gone up to the corner where I know that the torpedoes, well, chances are there would be torpedoes being aimed at. And I certainly would have fixed that engine just to have additional maneuverability so we can have the increased, well, control of our power, if you want, to be able to dodge. And, well, again, but, you know, fix the engine, sit in the corner, and, you know, you have unlimited... Ooh. Managed to hit one on the Friedrich Grosse as well, but, yeah, what I was saying is you have unlimited number of damage on charges. The only thing you have to worry about would be a damage control cooldown. Now, we're not using the high caliber signal, so we do not have the 5% cooldown on Damacon, which in its own, of a Damacon that comes up pretty fast already, isn't amazingly beneficial, in a sense. But the high caliber flag is there mostly for your defensive anti-aircraft when you're playing with carriers and your smoke screens for yourself. Because having only 30 seconds before you can deploy your next smoke screen after the current one you're spamming out of expires really can be helpful, because that's a 30-second downtime when you're without your smoke. And if you play your cards decently with your damage control parties and whatnot, that's not too bad. Anyways, we're deploying our own smoke screen right behind the enemy gearings, slowing down. At this point, I would still be going at a quarter speed forwards just to make sure that we do get the last puff of smoke, so it lasts the longest duration possible. And, well, to be completely honest, I really wouldn't be trying to sit here and invisibly shooting out of the smoke, because we do know that there was still a Kagero around who now has fucked off, so, well, we know there's no one destroyer around, because the other two are on the other side of the map. And if we look at the team, it's really just a Shimakazu that can get here, well, get anywhere in a reasonably decent amount of time. Anyways, the Friedrich Grosse's getting crapped on by pretty much everything, and gets taken down by the Senjo. We do manage to get the flag, and, well, from here on there really isn't much more to do in my opinion than to head off towards the other stuff and try to shoot some stuff. The Fletcher pretty much just got rebalanced. I'm gonna guess that the enemy cruiser that was there, the Dimitri Donskoy, no, not the Donskoy, the Thau I think was the one heading back, but that cruiser probably had a decent say in the Fletcher's current health pool situation. But, well, we've got the flag. Our team's currently pushing here. They're on the defensive on the Charlie side. Although, knowing that one of those ships was an Ithamo, that's probably not the world's best thing overall to be doing, but because, you know, Ithamo doesn't have anything pointing backwards, so to be able to shoot, you do have to give especially at this kind of an angle, like if you're looking on the map, if I activate the mouse cursor, if he wants to shoot anything down here, you basically, you know, if this is the Itho, judging by movement, this is probably the Ithamo. You basically have to turn in like this, then fire your guns, and then turn back away, and you're still showing broadside to anything that could potentially be down here. Now, of course, it wouldn't probably be anything down here, because, you know, this is there, this is probably busy with it, and this guy's probably chasing him, so yeah. Anyways, the fleet that's on the 1-2 line, if you look at the map, we've got ships all over the place. We have a destroyer, or like, you know, I don't know, merping around down with a battleship. We do lose one of our Thous. It's losing a Thou is not really a good thing to see, especially not when there's a Moskva on 40,000 health plus. The enemy Kagero shows up, spots our Fletcher, but we're right behind him, so this Kagero picked a pretty poor fight. The Benson, as we see, comes up on pretty low HP. So yeah, I would definitely be swapping to the Benson now if he presents a good shot. I don't really think that's enough lead, barely enough. I'm gonna maybe be able to clip the back end of the ship. So at this point, I would be aiming just about, well, about one tick, I guess, because half a ship length ahead, because that's approximately where our shells were falling. The Fletcher goes down. Pretty unfortunate. The Moskva actually picks him off, and well, we're going to be next. Thankfully, he's kind of spamming AP, but yeah, I wouldn't really have gone here without smoke screen. Fletcher, even in death, helps us out, eats one torpedo, so we can deploy our smoke screen here. Though that is a Moskva, so in the event that he has a radar available, it's just time to fuck right off. Currently our team's not in the world's best position, and now without a smoke screen, knowing there's 2 destroyers down there and Moskva in kind of support, although the rest of their team is fucking off to the bottom right corner because, oh my god, they have a destroyer behind them. It could be worse. But the Moskva never used radar to counter us. That's very useful. However, we still have 2 destroyers to deal with. One of them has decent guns, the other one has decent alpha on the gun, so if he manages to get good trades in, well, they hit hard enough to actually make us have to deal with it. So, this is, let's just put it like this, a somewhat tricky situation. We've also blown our smoke to get ourselves out of the way. Now, what would I do in this situation? Well, first of all, we need to make sure we have some kind of support, and we need to try to reduce enemy support. Now, we've sat around in the smoke screen for long enough that if the enemy destroyers had fired torps, there they are, there's a good chance we would be seeing them coming in around about now. Now, those torps got spotted from so far away. That is most likely the Shimmer. Shimmer firing long-range 20k torps, because they're reasonably fast. They got spotted from pretty far away. Of course, we could have vigilance on our captain, and that I don't really know, but now isn't too bad of a time to make a move. There you go. You can see more skill being dispensed at this smoke screen. 1 set of 5 coming in. Probably, like I said, the Shimmer. Now, and there we go. Benson actually gets spotted there. Very low HP. So that's basically a free pickup. However, Moskva's gonna show up around the corner, and there you go. Little Tugru shows up. We don't have a smoke screen. We're not really in cover here. We get set on fire by the Shimmer, so that we put that out pretty fast. There's the Kagero as well. They actually took the initiative on us. So now, can we look around to find any smoke screens? No, we can't. We're firing a gun, so that we're never going to get concealed from the Shimmer either. And, well, this is a lot of stuff to be fighting. Thankfully, the Kagero's spamming us with armor piercing, so that actually is not going to do too much. And the Shimmer is also smoke screening now. So if we're able to get ourselves behind all these smoke screens and then fire our guns like this, there we go. Our concealment is now hit again. Ooh, I probably wouldn't have fired there again. Thankfully, the Kagero goes down, so we're actually now unspotted again because the Shimmer, well, popped itself into the smoke. And as you can see on the minimap, our camouflage has reset, so now it's just a matter of not shooting. We managed to get away with it. There's a lot of skill going in for the Shimmer, and they only have 1 destroyer left. We still have our guy that's behind their lines is actually alive. It's a pretty amazing thing. But here's hoping the Shimmer will eat some of our skill in return. We're next to the fleet. Our smoke screen's almost back up. We do still have a decent amount of health, 5,000. The Moskva's fucked long enough off that he's not going to be a problem. However, this Kutuzov is probably about to get flopped himself because, yo, dude, turning away from torpedoes. Not like it matters. Plop. No explosion was heard though. It's interesting. But anyways, I certainly wouldn't be sticking around too long here, and I certainly would not be staying anything near broadside to that smoke screen, because there is always that chance that there's some more skill coming our way. Because we did have this Thou of ours that was also coming along here, who got rebalanced by him. So yeah. Anyways, it doesn't seem like the Shimmer had anything more to send our way, and it doesn't seem like we hit the Shimmer either, because he did get some torpedoes at him earlier. Most Noskwa getting away with it on 2.3 kill, not very nice. However, our full HP fucking Shimmer behind them is maybe finally able to do something useful this game, like, you know, actually getting into the fight. Da, comrade. However, we're still kind of in between a rock and a hard place. If the Shimmer decides to come and contest us, we do at least have our smoke screen, but he will certainly have more torpedoes ready. North Carolina coming in, and our team is still on the back foot. Ship-wise, we're not doing too badly, certainly not. We have a decent amount of ships left. All three of our battleships are up. However, positioning-wise, yes, we hold the caps, but we're still certainly in the inferior position, because, well, our battleships are all clustering in the middle of fuck all out of nowhere. Torpedoes reloaded. I think Field Mill is using the torpedo reloading tier 9 module. Now, this is, well, it's kind of, in my opinion, questionable, but certainly workable. But we're definitely, well, we're waiting until the smoke screen has set before opening fire. However, to be completely honest, again, like I said earlier with smoke screens, I'd be going forwards just to make sure we get the last puff. It also presents a much bigger target for enemies' destroyers torp. And if our intention was to shoot out a smoke, well, I would have deployed it a bit earlier, so that the Shimmer could see it, and then, you know, torp at it. Speaking of Shimmers, however, ours has spotted the enemies behind us, and, well, we're behind the island. And there's a somewhat low HP tail that's coming in. Our Shimmers dispensed some skill towards that. And this is why I wouldn't really have deployed my smoke, I guess you could say prematurely in that sense. Because what it means is that in this situation, having the smoke screen to be able to deploy now to pick off the tidbits while our Shimmer is basically tanking all the damage would be very useful. However, he needs the torpedoes anyways. But you see the shell seems to be coming in from sea side, which means they do have something there as well. Anyways, since we did keep our torps, we never fired them at the North Carolina. If the Shimmer comes around, we might be able to give him some surprise butterfucker if he wants to have some of it. However, he's picking apart our Shimmer, and that's not very good. Our Shimmer really needs to open fire in return now, get some hits in to actually whittle the enemy Shimmer's health pool down a little bit. Anyways, here we're sitting in our torpedo tubes, and this is definitely the right thing to do. Now, I would fire probably both of these sets, not at the same position. I would wait a little, like we are, wait a little bit because of those torpedoes. There's a chance he would have been accelerating. And then once we go around the corner, fire the second set. This is just in case that the enemy's Shimmer does decide to come after us. Now, health pool wise, this is not the best situation for us, and the Shimmer's reload isn't too bad. We basically need to catch him in a position where he cannot get his guns on us, and we can use some torpedoes to basically make him turn his camera so that he's not turning his guns to shoot us, basically. Anyways, we go around, we're able to find him. However, his guns aren't pointing towards us, but at this range, DPM is insane. Now, both of us are trying to torp. However, if the Shimmer gets a good gun salvo off, he can die. We're still alive with 99 health. To be completely honest, I would have been smashing that R button. I'm not kidding, I would have been smashing that R button in the event he doesn't kill us, in the event he sets a fire or something, just in case. But in that situation, I would not have been firing my torpedoes, because it takes so long, and in this scenario, well, for him as well, if he had fired guns earlier, he would have killed us. If we had fired guns earlier, well, just kept firing guns, we would have killed him. So yeah. Well, now that that's happened, if none of our team dies, we basically have this game decently under our control. Now, the cruiser that was back on sea has retaken it. And, well, we see Moskva's currently burning down, so well, he's stuffed. And we got now basically 100 points advantage, and that's going to keep on increasing for us. Now, the enemy North Carolina's trying to make some funnies down on A, but we still have 2 battleships down there. Of course, we can't see the health because we have the concealment upgrade. But even if we were to lose our cruiser, the cruiser that's up here, the full HP Thou, which we still have there, even if he was to go down, chances are we would still win this, just based off time points. There's only 1 minute, 20 seconds left. And, let me check, I do not remember this kind of stuff off the top of my head. Plus 3 points every 5 seconds. So, well, we need just another 30 seconds to win, basically. And, well, with a minute left, we still have a 30-second buffer zone. And, since we've gained enough points, even the loss of a cruiser, which I think is 100... Cruiser 35, it's 85 points differential, and since we are already quite the distance beyond that, even the loss of a battleship coming in at 100 points there wouldn't cost us the game. Speaking of losses, however, well, the Shimmer's coming in. The Sender's coming in. I'm just going to take it into free cam. I do want to see... Oh, we did manage to get a torpedo hit on the enemy's Thou. So here we are, smoke screen again, 99 HP. Well, we were the ones spotting him, so unfortunately no target. And there's only really about 9 seconds left of the game by now, until it ends. The Sender does get revisible. It's probably, well, it is our Sender that is currently spotting and engaging him in return. AP Salvo finishing him off, ending this 99 health, pretty close game. It was certainly on the back foot earlier. I believe we had a situation where we were, in fact... almost enemy on 900 points. Excuse me. Taking a look at the post-battle result screen, 4 torpedo hits, 2 of which were on the gearing to finish off. 94,933 damage, almost 100,000, certainly not bad in a gearing. Especially considering the fact we basically spent the first part of the game not really doing too much other than securing caps. Every torpedo caused the flooding, although none of them really would have mattered because none of them were in a position to cause damage over time. 2 fires, 80 shells, hits. Not really the world's best RNG there. Could have been better, could also have been worse, although quite improbable. Again, the fires didn't really matter. Having a look at the team's score, we can see 3,301 base XP. That's a pretty good chunk in the gearing, although I believe this was still back in the day when captures gave a good chunk of XP, and since we got 2 solo caps and 1 assistant, that certainly would have helped. The guy underneath us, the Shimmer that was faffing around on the other side of the map, he didn't really manage to pick up, well, I don't really feel he picked up too much damage there. However, that wasn't the important thing. He basically had a third of their team faffing around, also doing nothing for 1 ship. And some of those were tier 10s, although personally I do not recommend you sailing off like that on your own in a destroyer because, well, typically you just get screwed. Having a look at the detailed report, we did lose our engine 3 times. I think we let it also fix itself once with the gearing torpedoes on A. Just to summarize, personally, I would not have I would have damage-conned it fast just to get behind the island and then sit there safely until my damage control party comes back up. Also, this will delay the time between, we move and enemy torpedoes, and I would just sit on the corner and wait for torpedoes to pass. Once the damage control party is up, if no torpedoes pass, chances are there are not going to be any torpedoes coming. But in a situation like this, it's always a chance whether you fire them at the corner you're going, the corner you passed, where he thinks you're going to sit, or if he simply doesn't decide to fire them at all, or if he still had 20 seconds left on the reload, waited 20 seconds and fired them randomly in the middle of fuck all nowhere, and you happen to be there when you go around. Stuff like this can and does happen. This is probably the biggest cause of death for a lot of destroyer play. Well, certainly for me. The typical cause of death for me is random torpedo. That's usually why I die in my destroyers. Otherwise, I do maintain around about 90% survival ratio in them, which is quite solid actually, because you do have that 1 out of 10 game where you do just randomly die completely out of the blue. Have a very quick look at the credits and XP. We're using premium account, 244,000 credits in profit. That's not too bad considering that 357,000 of it went into service and repairs. And, well, the rest of it doesn't really matter because, 231 remaining XP, so I think this is currently a 15-pointer? It's either a 15 or a 16-pointer, so our captain isn't the world's best, but we do have last stance. We do not have the torpedo reload thingy yet, if that's the case. We do not have torpedo acceleration. We have superintendent and a tier 4 AFT and concealment. So that's basically the captain skills figured out. Same goes for the upgrades. We have the anti-aircraft firing range, and personally I'd like having that around. Anyways, thank you guys for watching, and I hope you guys enjoy a week of replay analysis. This will basically clear out a pretty large amount of replay, somewhat of a backlog. More like I've ignored the work I said I would do. Well, I set up. Anyways, like I said, hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'll catch you guys tomorrow.